Welcome back, puzzlers, to more Professor Layton and the Curious Village. I promise, I'm going to try to keep the algebra out of this one, alright? What a disaster conclusion to the last episode. Let me open up the trunk and read any new journal entries. The inspector had a few sharp words for us when we showed up, doubtless because we've been conducting an investigation that runs parallel to his own. As much as I'd like to help find Simon's killer, there are no other matters we should attend to first. There are other matters we should attend to first. Namely, checking in on Raymond to see what, if anything, he remembers of last night. Okay, so that is it. Let me get out of here and talk to Raymond. Good day, Raymond. How are you feeling today? Fit as a fiddle now, Professor. Perhaps even as vivacious as a violin. Hoo-hoo-hoo. That awful fatigue from last week seems like it never happened. As you can see, I'm bursting with energy and my skin is soft as a baby's. I feel like a teenager again. Is that so? That's good to hear. He doesn't seem to remember what happened yesterday, does he? He has no idea what happened. So what's our next move? We shall respect the inspector's wishes and leave the murder case alone, Luke. It's as Inspector Chelmy said, solving crime is the police's job. Besides, something tells me that this case and the Golden Apple are more related than we suspect. That's that intuition of yours talking again, isn't it, Professor? First and foremost, we need to find a clue that will bring us closer to the Golden Apple. Perhaps one of Baron Reinhold's relations or close friends can help point us in the right direction. Of course, there's also someone else. Let's see if the family butler has anything to say on the subject. So we've completed Chapter 5, the hunt begins. Actually, we're beginning Chapter 5. It's finally time to start the search for the Golden Apple. Explore St. Mystere for clues. Not gonna save. Okay. So, yeah, let me go talk to Matthew. Back so soon, Professor? Matthew, I was wondering if you knew anything that could point us in the direction of the Golden Apple. Anything you know would be a great help. For example, did the Baron say anything before he passed away? I'm so sorry to disappoint you, Professor, but the Master never said anything of the sort to me. I very much like to help you in your search, but my duties here prevent me from leaving the grounds. If only Ingrid was around to provide some assistance. I beg your pardon, sir, Ingrid? It's been years since she left, but Ingrid used to work as a servant in the mansion. She was Flora's nurse, and she often helped me with my work. Matthew? Yes, madam, I'll be right there. Please excuse me, sir, the lady calls. If you're curious about Ingrid, why not pay her a visit and talk to her yourself? Let's see, at this time of day, I'd imagine she's out walking around by the general store. Please do me a favor and tell her that Matthew sends his regards. Certainly, I'll be sure to pass on your message. Thank you for all your help, Matthew. Isn't Ingrid that sweet old lady we passed by before? Indeed, we also saw her in that picture of young Flora. Come, Luke. Let's go find the old girl. Off we go, then. The general store is just outside the mansion, right? We'll be there in no time. Alright, let's go find Ingrid. And there she is. Oh, goodness me, if it isn't Mr. Layabout, was it? The name's Layton, madam. That's right, Mr. Layton. What can I do for you, sir? Earlier, we were talking with the butler at Reinhold Manor, and he mentioned you used to work there. We'd very much like to hear anything you might know about the Baron. Heavens me, you want to hear about the Baron? I'm afraid the only stories I have are from when I worked at the manor, and that was ages ago. That would be ideal, madam. Would you mind telling us one? Alright, well, I suppose I could tell you a bit about the Baron and his former wife. The way Master Reinhold and his wife would carry on, they almost seemed to be like children. You'd never seen a man in love as Master Reinhold was. When she passed away, Flora was all the Baron had to remember her by. So he raised that little girl with all the love a child could want. The things he'd bring home for her, toys from all over the world and teddy bears as big as herself. He was in high spirits in those days. He really wanted to give her 2 parents' worth of affection. So, where has Flora gone? Your guess is as good as mine, sir. I have no clue where that girl went. She left the mansion well after I stopped working for the Reinholds. Some say Lady Dahlia put Flora in the street to keep the family riches to herself, but that's nonsense. After all, the Baron cared about Flora so much, I can't imagine that he'd allow something like that. You know, you just reminded me. The grave of the Baron's late wife is located in the manor garden. I wonder who takes care of it now. The Baron's former wife is buried in the garden? Thank you, madam. You've been extremely helpful. Luke, let's head back to the manor. I have a hunch that the grave might hold the clue that we've been looking for. Alright, let's head in. And look at Matthew walking around. Oh look, it's Matthew. Good day, Professor. Were you able to track down Ingrid? Yes, we did. In fact, we were just speaking with her. I mean no disrespect, but she said the grave of the Baron's late wife lies on these grounds. Do you have any knowledge of this? Lady Violet's grave, sir? I was just about to visit it myself. Would you mind if we came along to take a look? Not in the slightest. Right this way. Here's the entrance, sirs. Please watch your step on the way in. This is Lady Violet's grave. Gosh, this place is really nice. It's not creepy at all. The late Baron, rest his soul, told me to keep the place in proper order, and I have tried to do so. Here sleeps Violet, my one true love. This statue looks so much like Lady Dahlia, it's hard to believe it's someone else. Back when Flora was just a tiny little thing, Lady Violet used to take her to the park in town. Some of the flowers in the garden grew from the ones Flora planted here for her mother. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the Baron's journal. It should still be on the desk in Madame's room. It's possible that it might contain some information that could aid your search for the golden apple. My thanks, Matthew. I'll be sure to give it a once-over later. Now then, Luke, we'd best head back to the Reinhold Manor. Alright, very interesting. Lots of developments here. Gonna see about that journal. Let's see if we can find anything. This must be the journal that Matthew spoke of. I have to admit, he seems to know where everything in the manor is. There's something about reading someone else's journal that just doesn't seem proper to me. However, the investigation must continue, so... The craftsmanship of it is simply remarkable. It reminds me of my sweet Violet when she was alive. What do you suppose it refers to? Flora doesn't like the thing at all. I've seen her run away from it on multiple occasions. Recently, she spends more time playing by dear Violet's grave than anywhere else. I'm sad to say I doubt Flora will ever take to it. I can't blame her, as I've changed its memory. I felt terrible forcing that change on Flora, but I just couldn't bear to see it like that anymore. Violet, there can never be another you. You were my first, my last, and my only. Changed? Its memory? I'm not sure what the Baron means, but this is clearly vital information here. I collapsed some days ago and have been bedridden ever since. I feel as if I have failed Flora as a father. I can only hope that when I am gone, the people of the village look after Flora and care for her as I did. She must have been terribly ill. It seems I'm not long for this world. and the time has come for me to say goodbye to my little Flora. I've left everything in Bruno's care now. Flora, I pray you find happiness in this life. I've disclosed the location of the secret place in a note that I've left with an old friend. It is my most fervent hope that the seeker of the golden apple finds it and grants my dearest wish. Professor, Baron Reinhold's old friend. We must seek out this person, Luke. But Professor, how can we possibly find that person with nothing but this journal to go on? Haha, it's like I always say, Luke. Any good investigation starts on the street. We'll just have to ask everyone in town about the matter. What? I mean, of course. You're absolutely right, Professor. Let's get to it. Of course, any good investigation also needs direction. Let's start out by asking Ingrid a few questions. She seems to know a great deal about Baron Reinhold. So that certainly brings up more questions than it answers. But let me continue the investigation. So no need to talk to the people here. Nothing new that they're going to say. Let me talk to Ingrid. Oh, look who it is. Professor Layton, was it? The name's Layton, madam. Oh, that's right, Professor Layton. All that talking about the mansion we did last time got me reminiscing, so I decided to stop by for a visit. But enough about me. By the look on your face, it seems that you have something you want to ask me. As a matter of fact, I do. Do you happen to know who Baron Reinhold considered his closest friends? His friends, you say? Well, he wasn't exactly what you call a social butterfly. I'm sorry, that's really all I knew of his friends. Oh, wait a moment. I do believe I saw that Zapone fellow pay a visit to the mansion a few times. Professor, could she be referring to the same man we met? Ah yes, that gentleman with the fancy little mustache. We should ask if he knows anything. I would wager he's still hanging about the fork in the road just beyond the clock tower. Alright, let me go find Zapone. Let me go all the way here. And then let me actually go in here first. There's a hidden coin here somewhere. There it is. And then let me talk to Rodney. Since you've come to the town hall, I strongly advise you follow town procedure and solve this puzzle. Oh my, it looks like someone has been writing nonsense on the blackboard again. It turns out though, that under certain conditions, these strange equations are actually correct. 8 minus 6 equals 2, 8 plus 6 also equals 2. Assuming the above to be true, what does 7 plus 6 equal? Well... I'm trying to stare at this and see if I see anything obvious. I don't want to miss the obvious before I start getting too mathematical here. I'm not seeing anything. 8 minus 6 equals 2. 8 plus 6 equals 2. Assuming the above to be true. So we're assuming that is correct and there's no mistake there. Trying to look at this from different directions. See if there's like any visual indication as to what's going on here. I'm trying to think about it in non-mathematical terms. This is pretty confusing. I bet it's one of those, like, if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. And unfortunately, I'm in that don't category right now. I don't really see what's going on here. Unless it's like how many digits are involved, like the 8 and the 6. So 8 is 1, 6 is 1. So that's 2. I don't know if I explained that clearly, but I'm trying to say, like, how many digits are involved in the left side of the equation. So that would make 7 plus 6 equals 2 as well. Or maybe I am just overthinking it and the answer is just 13. It turns out, though, that under certain conditions, these strange equations are actually correct. 8 minus 6 equals 2. 8 plus 6 also equals 2. 8 plus 6 is 14. 8 minus 6 is 2. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing what they want me to see. These strange equations are actually correct under certain conditions. So I guess I got to play around with the conditions. But what are the conditions? Oh, you know what? What if it's time? So like 8 p.m. minus 6 p.m. is 2 p.m. And then 8 a.m. 8 a.m. plus 6 a.m. I guess would take you to 2 p.m. So hours, yeah. That might work. Wonder if that's it. Yeah, because if you think like 8 a.m. minus 6 hours, 2 a.m. 8 a.m. plus 6 hours, 2 p.m. 7 a.m. plus 6 hours. That'll put us at 1 p.m. I think that's it. That makes sense to me. Let's do it.
That should do it.
Nice. Okay.
Another puzzle solved.
Just gotta stare at it for a while. You're correct. This puzzle is using time as a framework for the calculations. If you take 6 hours away from 8 a.m., the time becomes 2 a.m. Move forward 6 hours from 8 a.m. and the time becomes 2 p.m. Therefore, if you add 6 hours to 7 a.m., you should arrive at the answer 1 p.m. You can, of course, reverse a.m. and p.m. and still find the solution. Thank you. That will do nicely. Now, please vacate the premises. Such an odd character. Alright, I will do as he bids and I will leave. Now let me go in the clock tower. There is going to be a hidden coin here in the ivy. Then let me talk to the cat as always. That cat and mouse seem to get along pretty well, don't they? Do you think so, Luke? I would have guessed that the cat was tormenting that poor mouse. But if you say the two of them are friendly, I believe you. Of course, it has to do with animals. Leave it to me. By the way, Professor, have you heard this one before? According to the diagram shown here, A equals 2, B equals 3, C equals 3, D equals 4, so what does E equal? I'm wondering if it should be 5. Just because, you know, A is the first letter of the alphabet, 1. B is the second letter of the alphabet. Oh, never mind, because it's doing A is 2 instead of 1. Okay, so I guess maybe how many squares are touching it? So for example, A has 1, 2, 3 things touching it. So that would be 3, not 2. What about B? B has 1, 2, 3, 4 touching it. But it's 3. What if it's the number minus 1? C has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touching it. Minus 1 is 3, so that doesn't work out. That theory does not work out. Let me clear all this. Unless it's just the position in the alphabet plus 1. So A is the first letter, plus 1, that's 2. B is the second letter, plus 1, that's 3. C is the third letter. Oh, but C is also 3. That doesn't make sense. Oh, maybe it's the number of lines. So A has 1, 2 lines, that's 2. B has 3, 1, 2, 3. C has 3, 1, 2, 3. And D has 4, 1, 2, 3. It has 3, not 4. So that doesn't work. Wait. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So that doesn't work. Unless you're counting these separately, right? Like 1, 2, and instead of 3, you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2. Because none of the other lines are interrupted. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This line is interrupted, so we could count it twice. And you kind of see a little tail there. So then this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 4. I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the number of lines that make up the shape. Assuming that this one is bisected and this counts as 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that though. What if it is the number of adjacent shapes, but I disregard corners? So for example, I wouldn't count this one because it only kind of makes a little corner there. So technically it would be this 1, 2. So that would work. And then 1, 2, 3 for B. 1, 2, 3 for C. And then I wouldn't count this because that's like a little corner. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 for D. That works. Then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for E. I wouldn't count this because it's a little corner, and I wouldn't count this because it's a little corner. That could be it. Because then I'd assume it's only touching the sides, no corners. Or I could see how many lines make a corner in the shape, so 1. Which is not 2, so that doesn't work. I think I like this. I think I'm gonna go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one doesn't count. This one doesn't count because it's corners. I'm gonna go with 5. I don't have a good feeling about it though.
Luke, here's my answer.
Okay, nice. Nice.
Critical thinking is the key to success.
Well done. The number assigned to each letter refers to the number of sections that are touching the labeled section. Yeah, I think the only tricky part was that the little corner sections don't count. Gosh, I was sure I'd come up with a really good puzzle, but it still was too easy, I guess. Alright, let me talk to Lucy. Hee, good afternoon, mister. Hey, I'll tell you a secret if you solve this puzzle for me. It's about a girl who's about to have her birthday. When asked about her birthday, a young woman gives the following information. The day after tomorrow, I turn 22. But I was still 19 on New Year's Day last year. When is her birthday? Okay. I feel like this is one that I am going to overcomplicate. Let me bust out the notepad again. The day after tomorrow, I turn 22. So let's say today. Well, I'm just gonna do A for today. She is... The day after tomorrow, I turn 22. So she's 21. So tomorrow, she is still 21. And then the day after tomorrow, C, she is 22. Okay. But I was still 19 on New Year's Day last year. But I was still 19 New Year Day last year. Okay. So, January 1st, she was 19. At some point, which is X, that's her birthday. She's gonna become 22. Is this like a leap year thing? So January, well, let me just pick like a random year. So this is last year. She was 19, right? The day after tomorrow, I turned 22, but I was still 19 on New Year's Day last year. So that means this year, January 1st, 2000, she's 20. Or, sorry, 2001. She's 20. And now she's 21. About to be 22. Wow, this is kind of bizarre. I was still 19 on New Year's Day last year. So let's assume that January 2nd of 2000, she turned 20. That means on January 1st, 2001, she's still 20. January 2nd, 2001, she is 21. And then she's 21 right now. And in 2 days, she will be 22. Okay. So if her birthday is on the 2nd, that would mean that B is going to be January 1st. A is December 31st, which is not going to work. This would be December 31st, 2000. No, that doesn't make sense. 2001, I mean. December 31st, 2001. So let's read the sentence with that in mind. The day after tomorrow, I turn 22. Okay, so she's 21. And then tomorrow is January 1st. January 2nd, she turns 22. So that checks out. But I was still 19 on New Year's Day last year. So, New Year Day of 2000. January 1st, 2000. She's still 19. So, her birthday is January 2nd. It has to be. It has to be. January 2nd. Hold on. Let me double check this one more time. The day after tomorrow, I turn 22. So it's December 31st right now. The day after tomorrow, she's going to turn 22. So tomorrow's January 1st. On January 2nd, she turns 22. That makes sense. But I was still 19 on New Year Day last year. So January 1st, 2000, she was 19. That makes sense. That checks out. January 2nd, she turned 20. January 1st, she's still 20. January 2nd, 21. Yeah, no, I am pretty confident in this. Let's go.
Luke, here's my answer.
Nice.
Every puzzle has an answer.
That's right. Her birthday is January 2nd, and your conversation with her must have taken place on December 31st. As you can see on the chart, the woman was 19 on New Year's Day last year, and she turned 20 the next day. This year, she turned 21, and in 2 days after the New Year starts, she'll turn 22. Wow, you're smart. Okay, come close so I can tell you my secret. I heard that all the people who get kidnapped feel a little sick right before they get taken. I bet the monster who lives up in the tower feeds its victims super gross food before it pounces. Oh, I bet it's like hamburger ice cream with butterscotch and mayonnaise swirl. Ew. Or maybe he just picks the weakest of the bunch to snatch. I just don't get why he needs all those people. Okay, so that is going to do it for this episode. I hope you're having fun. As always, leave a comment with how many of the 76 puzzles I've solved so far you were able to do on your first try. Leave a like on the video. Help me reach my goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year by hitting the subscribe button. 75% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed, and that's criminal. Just do it. It means a lot to me. Thanks so much. See you next time.
Thanks for stopping by the Renaissance Gaming Monastery. I hope you join our community on Discord and Twitter. These videos are produced with a lot of hard work and love. If you think they're worth $1, I'd be grateful for your contribution. You can send a thanks donation or become a member on YouTube. You can also support through PayPal, Patreon, or even with cryptocurrency. All links are in the description. See you on the next video.